Simon, the North lawyer from the northern part of the country, who served as the Minister of State for Transport in this honor.
Our memo today on new National Forest Policy 2020 is a revised policy. The old one was 2006. Why the new one? Because we realized that the old one is not catering for the current situation at hand. Forestry is a big sector of the economy. It provides a lot of employment. It reduces poverty, provide livelihood, also foreign exchange from export of wood. But without a sustainable forest management, you cannot have all of this benefit. And we also know that forests right now, with the issue of climate change, is a big part of climate change mitigation. Because the more forest we have, the more carbon we sink, meaning taking out all this emission out of our planet and stabilizing the temperature of the planet and the catastrophic effect of climate change. So we revised it and produced the new one, and we believe this will go a long way in regenerating employment, which is an issue at hand. Youth, women, the vulnerable, especially in the rural areas, usually bear the brunt of this issue of deforestation. So the more we populate our forest with trees, the better for the people, not just in the rural areas, but even the economy. Currently, we have suspended export of forest product, wood product, because of the, we do not have enough control of what is happening under the old policy. So we have suspended that. Charcoal exploitation, that has been banned completely, because these are some of the things that are causing degradation of our land. You see that when you lose forest, it's not just the forest that you are losing. You are also losing the land, because the land will be eroded, may not support agriculture, thereby foodstuff become very expensive. The people around that forest area become unemployed. Poverty will increase in the long run. So this is a policy that we feel will go a long way in safeguarding the economy and the planet at the same time. So both the human capital and also the physical environment. It's a collaboration between the federal government, state government, local government, NGOs, CBOs, the private sector, international organization. This is something that all hands must be on deck. And when we start our tree planting campaign, the tree planting has already started unofficially, and we have planted millions. But we will be seeking the president indulgence to flag off symbolically the tree planting, national tree planting of this year, in which we will expect to take one day where everybody will plant at the very least, one tree. But that's not all. We will want to plant more. And the National Tree Planting Campaign is something that is supposed to be perpetual, no longer yearly or monthly. So this is basically what the forest policy is all about that we have just presented and have it approved today. We thank Mr. President and the Council for approving the policy. Thank you.
Today in Council, the Minister of Power and myself jointly presented a memo. The memo was requesting Council to ratify Mr. President's anticipatory approval for the release of 15.21 million euros offshore and 1.708 billion naira onshore towards the counterpart funding for the bilateral credit facility from German consortium guaranteed by the German government through Euler Hermes to finance the implementation of the end-to-end grid modernization and expansion program. So today, we discuss at Council Stage 1 or Phase 1 of this project under the Presidential Power Initiative. This project is designed to include 23 transmission initiatives as well as 175 separate transformative projects in the electricity distribution franchises that we have in the country. The project will also support the regulator NERC and to transition towards a program for improving metering in the electricity industry in the country. Let me remind us as citizens that Mr. President and his German counterpart met in Abuja on the 31st of August 2018 and committed to jointly increase the Nigerian electricity grid from the current capacity of 5 gigawatts to 25 gigawatts over a 3-phase program. After this meeting, an MOU was executed on the 23rd of July 2019 between the Nigerian government and Siemens AG with the German government support. The MOU is designed to deliver this end-to-end modernization program, which we are calling the Presidential Power Initiative. The objective of this Presidential Power Initiative is to address the intractable problems that have bedeviled the Nigerian power industry over a period of years. The project will be implemented in 3 phases, and the subject of our memo today is Phase 1. The facility for this program is to be sourced from the German consortium, and it will be guaranteed by the German government through Euler Hermes, covering 85% of the project cost. It is a highly concessional facility with 2 to 3 years moratorium, 12 years loan repayment period, with an interest rate of LIBOR plus 1% to LIBOR plus 1.2%. And also the federal government is to provide 15% counterpart funding as its contribution towards the project. We have a provision in the 2020 appropriation revised for the government's counterpart funding. The federal government is taking the loan from the German government with the plan to on-lend this particular loan to the distribution network. So it's a convertible loan facility to the DISCOs, and we will be working with the DISCOs to structure an appropriate loan agreement as soon as we're able to close out on this initial phase of the process. And Council approved and ratified Mr. President's approval. Thank you.
Well, my ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, presented a memo today to Council, seeking Council's approval for Mr. President to ratify the 2 investment promotion and protection agreements, which were signed in 2016 between Nigeria on the one hand, Nigeria and Singapore on the one hand, and Nigeria and the Kingdom of Morocco on the other hand. In 2016, the Attorney General of the Federation came up with a new model of investment promotion and protection agreement. And that year, Nigeria signed based on that new model between Nigeria and Morocco, and Nigeria and Singapore. The whole idea was to grant more protection to Nigerian investors when they invest abroad, and to give Nigeria more protection when other investors come into Nigeria. So basically, that's the thing we were in FEC for, and the Council graciously approved that Mr. President should ratify, and such that the Attorney General will present to Mr. President for his ratification, and the agreement will come into force thereafter.
For aviation, I want to report that he presented a memo today also asking for approval for ratification of the air transport agreement between the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the United States of America. The minister sought council's approval for ratification of this of the air transport agreement between USA and Nigeria. You recall that both Nigeria and United States are parties to the Chicago Convention of the 7th of December 1994, and the Article 6 of the convention actually urged parties to sign air services agreement with member states to improve social, political, and economic ties. The U.S. has signed its own, has ratified its own, and the President and Council graciously accepted today to also, ratify this approval, to approve this, to ratify this agreement. So as of today, as soon as the President signs that, it means that a valid agreement of between for air services, air transport service between Nigeria and the U.S. with the attendant benefits for both countries, especially as Nigeria is working towards having its own national airlines. You will not take advantage of this air services, air transport by bilateral agreement to strengthen economic, social, and cultural ties between the two countries. Thank you very much.